Oh, lovely. Absolutely lovely. How long has this been sitting? How's it going? Welcome back. So over the couple of weeks I have been looking for rebuild kits for this engine, and I found one all the way from China. It's reasonably cheap, and it was really hard to find because obviously this engine is quite old now. I don't even think it's the real engine for this machine because it's got all these, looks like hacked up bloody engine mounts. So what I have to do is drop the oil out of it, and then we have to check all the crank bearings, rod bearings, and make sure the crank looks fine before we order the kit, because I don't want to order the kit and then find out it's not worth rebuilding. So I will drain the oil, and then we'll chuck it upside down on the bench, take the head off, roll it over, and chuck it on the bench and have a look for any potential hurdles that we won't jump. Let's get into it. All right, let's see if there was any water in it. Nope. That looked nice and clean. Didn't see any water. So that makes me think that that water hasn't been sitting at the top end for that long, otherwise it would have got down into the oil pan. Strange. I mean, it's black, but it's there. So at least there's oil. We'll let that drain out, and then put the bung back on and take the head off, roll it over, chuck it on the bench. Okay, well, maybe it's been sitting in there a while. There's a whole lot of sludge coming out of it. Lots. It's sticky. So, since all that sludge is in there, I don't really want to roll it over and all that sludge from the bottom of the pan goes up over everything. So we'll try and clean it out a little bit more, and we'll pour some Kero into it, just so it loosens up some of that stuff at the bottom, and hopefully we can drain it out. A lot of oil in this thing. It's a big pan. Give it a bit of a shake. Hasn't pulled much out. I suppose it is what it is. We roll it over and we deal with it then. So my plan is to take the head off now, and then chuck a couple of pieces of wood on the ground, push the engine over and roll it over on top of the pieces of wood. Probably use the engine crane or hoist to roll it over, because I don't think it will be gentle enough, and I'll have less control if I use the digger. So I'll take the head off and the starter motor, and then we'll roll it on those engine brackets there. Nope, still hasn't got any better. Hasn't changed one bit. Let's see if I can blow my foo-foo valve pushing this thing over. Yeah. Not too bad. Need some more wood. Let's roll it over. Now what? Sketchy. Whew. That thing is heavy. Right, since it's at a workable height, we'll take the oil pan off here and then lift it onto the table. Have a look down here, or we just work on it down here. So I've been working on this oil pan for quite some time trying to get it off, and I've started budging it. So let's have a look behind door number oil pan. Oh, that looks great in there. A little bit of sludge on the bottom of the pan. No chunks stuck to the bottom at least. But that looks beautiful inside there. Wow, it's in good nick. We have to pop these bearing caps off and have a look, but that looks pretty good to me. The camshaft looks alright. Feels alright. Yeah, no water got in the bottom of there, so that's awesome. Look at, it's even got the original red coating on the inside. Why is it so clean there? Geez, this gasket was like super glue. My gosh. Awesome. Let's pull some caps off and have a look. Might have to try and get the thing to roll over to get the cap bolts off. So I might give them a little bit of a tap from the top here and see if I can get them to move. But we probably needed to tap them this way because the rust is obviously on top of the piston, not below it. Yeah. So they've labelled all the caps. Those are all labelled. 1, 2, 3. And 3 is at the front. This is a solid engine. I'll give it a hit and see what happens. That one's loose. Oh, sheesh. Just trying to get it to move a little bit at least. Oh, there we go. Here we go. It's actually rolling quite free. Obviously it gets tough when it hits that rust. Right, so since it looks pretty good, but without knowing what the journals look like, we will pull all the caps off and just check them out, make sure they're all good before we order the kit. So we have to get this oil pump off, the front pulley, the rear bell housing, the flywheel, take all that off, and then we can pull it out this way. I think we'll just pull the pistons out this way if they can fit out, which hopefully they can. If not, we'll have to smack them through that rusty. We might roll it back over and clean that rust out a bit more and smack them back out that way, but if they can come out this way, it'll be good. So we'll give it a go. Everything's labelled, so yeah. So I spent a while de-gasifying the block and everything has come out really clean. I don't think it's ever been pulled apart before. So now we'll remove some caps and see what they look like. Question, if these bearings are in good nick, do I reuse them or do I just replace them to the Chinese bearings? Because what's better quality? Some bearings with used hours or Chinese new bearings? I suppose it depends on the quality. They almost look new. There's not a lot of wear in them by the looks. So that's bloody good. That crank looks perfect. So I think we're good to go to order this rebuild kit. Alright, I'll take the crank out. Get the main caps off, take the crank out and have a look at those ones. Ooh. Sheesh, those are tight. Oh. Those bearings are also pretty minimal wear. There's a little bit, but nothing major. That thrust bearing looks alright too. There's a bit of wear in that one. That's probably the worst one. It's like there's something got stuck in there. Still can't feel it with my fingernail, but it's deep. Oh, there's some scratches in that one. It's not bad though, the crank looks alright. So it all looks pretty good in there. It's nice and clean. Bearings aren't too bad. And the crank looks mint. Nice and shiny. So I don't think we need to polish that or anything. We'll just chuck some new bearings in. Or reuse the old ones, whatever you think. Do you think that we should use them, like I said? Do we reuse these bearings or do we use the Chinese ones? Not sure yet. I'll talk to some people. So we have to remove the oil squirters down in here. We have to move these oil squirters so we can see if the piston will fit out this way. But it should, because we definitely won't push them through all that rust on that side. So I'll remove these oil squirters and give it a go. See what the piston looks like. So those are just the oil squirters. They squirt oil on the bottom side of the piston. So this piston should sneak out past the bearings. Those rings are seized in there obviously from the rust. It's not bad though, I suppose. The piston itself's alright. So do we reuse these pistons as well, or do we use the Chinese ones? I suppose we'll judge them when they turn up. So all I really need are liners maybe. I have to think about this. Everything seems right, it's just that liner. I don't know if that was the worst one or not, but let's pull out the next one. Oh, that was the one with all the rust in it, that one. Nope. We might have to roll the block sideways and push it out. These ones have to go out the front because it hits this thrust ceiling here. This one might come out this way. That's got a broken ring in it. Broken oil ring. So, chunk of oil ring just fell off that one. But the piston itself looks alright too. Oops, that's gone. We'll get that later. So that was the worst one there. All the rings are obviously locked in, but the piston itself looks alright, so yeah. This one's all loose. This is probably the best one out of them all. Still looks in good nick though. So, since saying that, that's our biggest problem there. All the rust. These ones are alright, but I buy the kit just for those piston liners and reuse everything. It comes with a gasket kit, obviously I'll need that. But yeah, hard to say if I use the old stuff. It's just a big old diesel. It's not a high performance engine. I wonder if there's somewhere that can just manufacture some liners, or is it not worth it, where you can just buy this whole kit. The liners come where you've got to install them and then machine them to suit the pistons, so we could always machine them to fit those old pistons because they're probably better quality, and we'll just use the new liners. But we'll see when they arrive. Let me know what you think. Would you reuse the old stuff? I'm leaning towards it. So it turns out it's all right, this engine. It's not too bad. The worst part are the liners. So we'll order that kit from China. It's cheap enough just to buy to see if we just use the liners or what. But I'll remove the rest of this junk off it and get it down to just a bare block to take to the machine shop, because they won't want all this stuff on when they have to do the machining. So I'll take all this stuff off and get it put away, get all these parts stored, and get on to working on the track frame. We'll probably cut some brackets off or something. I did notice that I'm not sure if this is the right engine for it, or if they've moved it or something, because the oil pan has two front big long bolts that go up, and it's been rubbing on the frame, so it's flat spotted them a bit. So I don't know if this is the right engine for it, but it's alright. Seems like a good engine, built bloody solid. So I'll get it cleaned up and go from there. So I've covered the block in soft seal because in the shed everything condensates because it's really cold and then it gets warm outside and everything starts to drip water. So because it's going to be sitting in here a while, I have covered it in soft seal. That'll just protect the steel from rusting or flash rusting. What I'll do is I've got to clean up this bomb site. That's how I work. It's just pure chaos until it's not. So I'll clean up all that and get everything stored, put in their parts bins and put on the shelves. And then we'll look at getting into this, move it forward a bit and start cutting off some brackets. There's a few pipes in there that need bending or replacing. Those are some of the hydraulic pipes. Yeah. But first, give me about 4 hours to clean up all this mess and we'll get back. Oi, what? Pass me the crowbar? What? Okay. This one? Oh, that's not a crowbar. Well, you don't have a crowbar. Maybe you should have listened to that wise guy and brought one. Yeah, well, maybe I should. I've got more important things to do. Like what? Ugh, hard to get good help around here, as you do. So, another weekend's coming to a close. I probably spent the last 3 hours or so cutting all the brackets off here. It's looking a lot better. Also made me feel like a year one apprentice with all that grinding and stuff. Especially using a 5-inch grinder. It takes a lot of effort and the old thing was getting a bit warm. Makes you be a lot more efficient with your abrasives when you have to buy them yourself. But anyway, it's been a good weekend. I've got what I wanted to get done. I have to get some more grinding wheels because I ran out, so all these welds are still sitting there and needing to be ground off. Because the engine was rubbing on that front cross member there, the oil pan was slightly touching it and it started to wear through some of where the bolts went up to hold it on. I think we'll leave these engine mounts where they are but make new brackets just to pull it back maybe 10mm. We'll cut those ones off and make new brackets to fit on the pump, and that'll clean that up. Still got to work on all this. I think we'll leave all these plates and we'll probably add more of them on here and we'll use them to bolt sides on it and everything on it. I don't really think that I'll weld extra stuff to it. I think we'll bolt everything on so we can take it off if I plan to use it for something else in the future. I thought of a barbecue table sitting on this and we could drive and go down the river and have a good time. That'd be excellent. Anyway, the good news on the engine, I think we can rebuild that, and I'll order the kit from China. What were your thoughts on the bearings? Do we reuse them and just use the Chinese liners and get them machined for our pistons? The only problem is one of those pistons had a broken oil ring, so I don't know if the supplied oil rings and stuff will fit on the pistons I'm getting from them, but we'll have a look and see anyway. Let me know what you think. Alright, I'll catch you 2 weeks from now, and we'll probably just carry on cutting off all these brackets, cutting the rest of them off, get some grinding wheels, and give it a good bash. Rightio, till next time, catch you later.